Welcome to the Columbian Exchange to the Magic 8. Columbus and late European explorers shipped New World foods back to Europe, beginning with the Magic 8. We'll be using this map to show how the foods traveled. The Magic 8, number 1. Corn came from Mesoamerica, beginning with the barely edible teosinte, perhaps beginning 9,000 years ago. Genetic engineering magic turned it into corn with hundreds of varieties. Starting in southern Mexico, corn spread across most of Mesoamerica into most of the New World. The kernels were ground into a paste, cooked, and eaten, or made into tortillas to create tacos, tostadas, and tamales. Number 2, beans were grown both in pre-Inca Peru and pre-Aztec Mesoamerica, starting 7,700 years ago in Peru and 7,000 years ago in Mexico. Beans in many varieties were made into casserole, served as soup, combined and served on tortillas. Number 3, squash was native across North and South America. Cultivation goes back 8 to 10,000 years ago in Mexico and Peru. Mesoamericans used the Three Sisters planting technique: corn, with beans growing up the stalk, and squash providing ground cover. The New World beans, which made fixing nitrogen in the soil, included green, pinto, navy, and kidney. Most Indians in the U.S. north of the Rio Grande were farmers using the Three Sisters planting technique. Number 4, chilies originated in Bolivia and Peru 7,500 years ago. They were domesticated in Mesoamerica about 6,000 years ago. Most are spicy, with jalapenos the best known of our hot chilies. Columbus discovered them in the Caribbean and called them peppers because he thought they were like black pepper. Chilies were a major spice used to enhance flavors, catching on in the Old World in different ways. Number 5, wild tomatoes, the pea-sized fruit, originated in South and Central America. Mesoamerican genetics turned them into hundreds of varieties, including the big red ones, at least 2,000 years ago. What would Italian cooking be like without tomatoes? An advantage was to how easily tomatoes grew in moderate climates. Number 6, potatoes, we're in potatoes now, a root vegetable native to the New World in thousands of varieties. They were domesticated in Peru 7 to 10,000 years ago. Peruvians were able to grow them high up in the Andes in poor soil and cold conditions. Potatoes were brought to Europe by the Spaniards in 16th century, but how to prepare them often remained a mystery. They were shipped widely to undernourished groups in Europe, particularly poor Irish communities. A potato blight in the mid-1840s devastated poor communities, especially in Western Ireland. Think of all the ways we prepare potatoes. Number 7, my favorite. Cocoa and chocolate were native to the Amazon and domesticated over 5,000 years ago. Introduced into Mesoamerica by the Toltecs over 4,000 years ago. The pulp was turned into a fermented drink. The cocoa seeds were dried and ground, also used as a drink, flavored with chilies. Cocoa has a long history, eventually resulting in a chocolate bar. Number 8, vanilla is a Mesoamerican native, a spice from the pods of conveniently called vanilla orchids. Vanilla was first used around Veracruz, some time before the Spanish conquest. The pods were cured, dried, and usually ground into a powder and mixed with other ingredients. It was added to chocolate drinks along with the chilies. That's the Magic 8, but we're not done with New World foods. More crops will be covered in the next section. Join us for more discoveries.